Well, hello, folks. Uh, Glad you could be with me today. Hope you're doing well. Me, I'm doing fine. Uh, can't complain at all. I hope the sound and everything is okay right now. Uh, our usual luck on a Friday is about between 4:30 and 5:30. It shuts off, just freezes up. So I'm trying it a little bit earlier today. Might reach a different audience, but if you catch us on here, stop in and talk with us. Talk about anything you want to. And me, I'm going to uh, talk about anything I feel like talking about. But give that delay time to catch up with itself and get straightened out. I think it's getting pretty close now. But sounds like the $8,000 pickup trucks are going to come on the market right at either sometime this month or 1st of January sometime. But if you get any upgrades on it, it's going to cost you probably $1,000 per upgrade because they're not going to be cheap. But if you stay, I think it's probably going to come with air conditioner, and I don't even know if it's got a radio or not. But you don't need one. You won't stay off your phone long enough to listen to the radio. So if you get one just the way it is, $8,000, and if you got you 5 or 6 thousand to put down, why you ain't gonna have much of a payment, or you might be able to pay it off. If I bought one, I'd just pay it off. But that's me. I'm hoping my daughter might be able to get her one. Uh, I know she ain't got nothing to pay down, but she can trade her truck in on it that she's got. But anyhow, uh, it's going to help a lot of people being able to get a cheap vehicle again. And that's not cheap. I remember when I say the first car I ever bought new, I bought a 64 Ford 427 tunnel port, prep by Holloman and Moody, and I paid $2,200 cash for it when I picked it up. Uh, they they shipped it to Holloman Moody for me. Holloman Moody prepped it, and when I got it back, it cost me $2,200. And what Holloman Moody done, they put the tunnel port intake on it, and on the 427. And oh man, it was a hog. Now it would get down there and get with it. Beautiful car, white upholstery, bucket seats, top notch inside. But I called it Big Red. I didn't call it that. That's what everybody called it. And I think first time I took it to the strip. Now don't hold me to this because back at this time they was using flags for a strip. They didn't. Most strips didn't have any lights at this time. Um, they were still using the flags, but uh, using the flags, I turned like a. I remember. I think it's about 11.2, something like that. I can't remember for sure. Now, if that would have been lights, it probably been 11.10, something like that. But it don't matter. It was a hog. And when I got done with it, it was pulling in the tens and without any problem whatsoever. But it's changing the ratio on the gears and stuff. I put a quick change rear end in it, and I could go from 323 all the way up to 456. That ain't problem. Just had to buy the main gear. But anyhow, it was old, and it was not a side oiler. It was a regular uh, internal pickup. But I never did figure out which was supposed to be the best. I didn't have no problem in mine either way. I had a side oiler later on, but I couldn't tell if it was any better than the other one, and vice versa. But now I do like external pump, and uh, through the um, doing it that way. But just uh, just what they had back then, I guess you could call them external, but they're nothing like you could buy on aftermarket like for NASCAR and stuff. But anyhow, that's another horse for another color. But hope we get somebody on there to chat with us. Um, I'd like to talk to Drain the Swamp, and I ain't seen him in a while or talked to him in a while. David, I haven't talked to him in a while because there was no way I'm going to be on. And I don't either. So far, this neck froze up, but usually it don't start to 4:30. So I'll hopefully be done by then. But we had quite a heavy frost last night. It got down to 15 degrees, I believe it was. Uh, had turned my air conditioner or the furnace up down to where it was a little warmer. Put it on 74, and my grandson was supposed to come over and help me put my cardboard in on my vents that goes out of the bathroom, but he never did make it. I had to do it. Of course, I was just letting him do it because he felt like he was helping me. But if he ain't gonna get over here and do it, I just do it myself. I know he's busy. Ain't no big deal. But I might make him think I had a hard time doing it. Took me about 5 minutes, I think. But really, what I get him to come over, it gives me a chance to sing. Because I don't sing about once every 2 weeks, maybe three, because he works so much and goes to school so much. But that's what I sent him to school for, is to get in there and get it. And he's doing it. Both my grandsons are, mm-mm-mm. They are good boys and they study hard. And Caleb, he's getting 3 weeks. He's doing research up Columbus for his uh, master's and doctorate, taking them both at the same time. And uh, he gets 3 weeks off. But I'm going to tell him not to, if Ashley don't get to come with and get off 3 weeks too, for him to stay there with her because she don't need to be up there by herself. But my voice is a little rough this morning, so don't pay no attention to it. I ain't sick or anything. I just got a rough voice this morning, and it's partly due from that back when I had that Bell's palsy. Sometimes it's rough, sometimes it ain't. If I got any excess fluid on me, it makes it a little worse. Right now, I don't have none much, but there's still enough to make a difference. um, I guess everybody had a good Thanksgiving. was going to talk about that a little bit yesterday, but I don't have turkeys. I don't do a turkey anymore. Years ago, I found out that these turkey raising places that you have throughout the country, when they have small turkeys that die, they throw them in and grind them up and put them back in the feed, which makes a cannibal out of the turkey. Now, turkey don't want to be a cannibal, but he don't know it because all he thinks he's doing is eating grain. But uh, from what I've been told, that changed enzymes in the turkey, and it may. I've never heard of anybody dying from it, but I don't want nothing to do with it. Now, fish, they're made to be cannibals and feed on their their own offsprings and whatever else they can get. That's the way the fishing world is. But animals that ain't supposed to be eating off their own offsprings don't want to do it, and it's not right to make them do that. But that's nothing I can do about it. But I just put the word out there. If you don't want to eat a cannibal, don't don't buy a turkey at the store. Now, turkeys out in the field, buy one of them, get the breast out of them, or clean them and fix them. They're great, and moist, tender, and good eating. Unless you get an old bird, a long time old, but you don't have any to stick around much more than 2 years, three, because the cows take care if they get a little older than that. But everything seems to be working awful good today, and I don't want to say that too much because it's going to come back to bite me. But I got nobody showing up yet, but I hope we get somebody in there. Uh, I'll talk about anything you want to talk about. Of course, no sense me saying that because ain't nobody out there listening to it. But uh, I'm thinking about maybe getting one of these new rifles that they come out with. It's guaranteed to be a dead accurate rifle. I think it's uh, sub minute of angle, but whether it is or not, I don't know. It's called a 22 uh, LR, I think. I haven't really looked it up yet, but uh, let's see if it can show anything on here. But it's supposed to be an awful accurate rifle. And when somebody guarantee one to be accurate, it's made by Brannon, I believe, in the United States. 22 LR. See if it brings up anything on. Let me look. I don't think I put in the right letters with that. Um, try it again. Branham 22 uh, rifle, new one. Um, I will try to look it up here on more. But anyhow, it's supposed to be a good rifle. I'm going to do some research on it, and I might buy one of them. Don't know who will. I got some rifles right there. It's all of them except two of them are black powder. I got one, two, three. I got four black powders in there, and I love black powder. Black powder's accurate. If you load them right, will I used to love to go to Boonesboro and shoot black powder uh, washer matches and string matches. Uh, hey, I got somebody on there. Drain the Swamp 53. I was wondering if she was going to be able to catch me. It's good to see you on there, buddy. I just got through telling them that every day at 4:30 on Friday afternoon, especially, daggone things freeze up on me. Uh, the I don't know, the internet just I don't know if they're working on it at that time every day or what, but have a lot of trouble with it. So I thought I'd come on just a little bit early today. How you been doing? I got about a 4 second delay on it, so uh, I'll give you a little time to talk. But um, I've been taking care of my brother-in-law, and just like before, he's doing on it good on his prosthetic, and he gets up and takes off, goes all the time. He'll go from living room to the kitchen, living room, bathroom, down the hallway, and doing good. And I think he said he wasn't going back to the doctor until he could walk in there. So, oh my, oh, you just couldn't find him after you shot him, or yeah, sure you got your freezers full then. Uh, at 160 class points, that's a nice 10 point. You have like quite a bit of weight on him. Oh, okay. I got you. Well, it was still running when she seen it, huh? You know, my dad, he shot one in the butt one time, and he was aiming for his head. It was standing broadside of him, but he didn't know it. I can't remember if it was his front sight or his rear sight was broke, and it was still on there, but it was loose, and uh, it was off almost. He almost missed it. He got it right in the backside of the hip. Yeah, that's always the best part of it. Um, how heavy a deer was you 10 point, or your uh, estimated on that 10 point? When they got a lot of weight to them, I like them. I like a heavy deer that they got a better taste to them than a little skinny deer does, unless it's a doe. I didn't get to go this time. Uh, couldn't leave Larry, but I still got plenty of hamburger left. I feed my dog all the hamburger, and probably around 200. That's a good one. Uh, I've got one downstairs that the state mounted for me. I don't worry about mounting them. I cut the horns off and use them for rattles or make knife handles or stuff for them. But I'm not worried about trophies. And when I shot it, it was a 12 point. It was largest in the county that year. And so the second in the state. And the state of Kentucky game department, they had it mounted for me. And uh, nice looking deer. I'll take a picture of it when I can think about it and downstairs. And, an apron set up for us to weigh them on. And I didn't even know there was a contest going on. I just wanted to see how much it weighed. And when I brought it in, the people running, she said, she asked me, she said, you waiting for the contest? I just said, yeah, like I was in it. I didn't even know there was one going on. But when we picked it up by the back end, and I had to hold the head up off the ground because it was such a long deer that when I put it on there, the head still drug on the ground. So I had to pick the head up, and with it field dressed and I picking the head up, weighed 238 pounds. And I don't know how much more that head would put on it because I had to hold some of the head up. I expect about another 5 or 6 pounds, maybe 10 at the most. But still, it was second largest in the state that year, and oh, it was a pretty deer, pretty deer. But that was back in 80 something. I don't remember how long ago now. It's been a long time ago. I might have been earlier than that. I really can't remember. Uh, I think I was living in Clay City at the time. I don't remember where I was even living at the time. I think I was living in, well, don't matter. I get too old to remember that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was a hammer, all right. And the funny thing happened when I was carrying that deer out. I made its legs into a backpack and had it up on my shoulders and his head leaning over. And uh, the little, the closest way for me to get from where I was hunting at down to the where my truck was to go down right straight to the holler and walk down the holler. And I had to cross the fence with it, and that wasn't no big deal. But when I was going down that holler, you know how they'll holler. I have little bitty waterfalls about that tall, and even when they're dry, the waterfalls ain't there's no water in them. They just about that tall, and little creek was dry as a bone. And I was going down that creek, and I'd walked about probably 200 yards, and I figured I better not overdo it. And of course, I was a lot younger back then, but I sat down to rest a minute and just left the deer on the back. Well, when I went to get up, you know how you have to lean forward. Well, when I did, I'd forgot to go ahead and bring that head forward because I'd pushed it back while I was sitting there. And that head fell forward. And when it did, it caused me to lose my balance. And I went face first right into that creek because I held my gun up, didn't want it to hit, and I just hit face first right in that creek. Of course, wasn't no water in it, but the rock still smarted a little bit. And uh, I was laying there trying to get that deer off my back, and I got tickled. I got to thinking if somebody was up on the bank up there somewhere in the woods watching me, it looked like that deer was trying to have relations with me. And I got tickled, and I couldn't get up for laughing. It just struck me funny. And finally, uh, hey, Jonah, glad to have you, buddy. I'm telling a little story here, and we'll get right with you. And I finally got that deer off my back and got straightened up, but I laughed hard. You just imagine in that position and trying to get up and laughing all at the same time. You can't do it. you using all my energy laughing. But it was a funny thing. And uh, so after I got straightened up, I got it back up on my back, and I had another 300 yards to go to get to the road. So I went on down there and then went and got my truck and come down and got it. But it was a big deer. It was a fun deer. A lot of good times telling that story. And but he was a monster. Uh, Jonah, glad you got to make it on here with us. Uh, the reason you hadn't seen me is I've been every time I get on there, uh, the darn thing go on there about 30, 40 seconds and freeze up. And so for today, it ain't froze up, but it ain't 4:30 yet either. And it's getting close to it, so I'm going to try to go to 4:30. And but if I don't, if it freezes up on me, you all know what's wrong. But during the swamp, he's in there with us too, and he got him 5 deer and lost a nice one. And yeah, I'm gonna be ready for. Me and David, we got that boat ready, and it's we didn't get to fish but 2 or 3 trips in it after we got it ready. On account of my brother-in-law having that operation done on his leg. He's still with me here. Uh, I think he's getting ants in his pants. He's getting up in the middle of the night, walking around everywhere, and I don't think he's fell yet because of his walking, but uh, he's doing good. And we went through all kinds of little pads and stuff, put on that knee bone or shin bone to keep him from getting sore, and it's getting to where he can tolerate it. Of course, the more he walks on it, the better it's going to get. Eventually, he won't even have to use them. But yeah, he's doing good, and I'll be able to this spring, even if he's still here with me, I'll be able to go fishing and fish for a few hours and keep contact with him by telephone. Of course, I'll have my next door neighbor here to come over if he has any problems. Well, I'll tell you what, drain the swamp. Uh, I ain't got to ice fish since I left Michigan. And um, I was telling somebody the other day about catching them big brown trout in the ice and muskie. And they said, well, how you get a muskie through the ice? I said, they'll come through it. You get a 6, 8 inch hole in there, they'll come through it. But well, I miss that. You know what I miss more than is them little striped perch, the yellow and green perch. Get oh about 15 inches. I think they would get was a pretty big one. But about the size of a big crappie, and oh, it was delicious. Now, I know you know what I'm talking about during the swamp because Michigan's full of them things, but I miss that bad. And the only fishing that I don't miss, and I don't even know if they still do it or not, but you remember when the season come around for you go out and well, let me get my fingers around. Oh, and you go out and you catch them little look like shiners about that long by the thousands, and everybody flock to the shores of the lakes and have nets and try to net them and fill your garbage bags up and stuff. You remember that? Yeah, that's the one. They're oh they're I think they're better best eating fish ever was. Uh, and I can't remember that little uh, thing that we used to go out and fish for them, but I wasn't a fan of them. They was good if somebody else cooked them. But I seen my next door neighbor up there um, sat all night long. He got three 20-gallon uh, things full, and yeah, smelt. That's right. Uh, 1.5 gallon lemon bucket. Well, that's all you can get now. Used to be wasn't no lemon on it. People would get. I know they had to end up throwing some of them away because I seen people come out with 30-gallon garbage bags full or garbage cans full, and have five or six of them in the back of a pickup truck. They go up there to what was it, Escanaba, I believe it was, and catch them, and down at right there where oh Whitefish River, I think they called it, or something like that. Like if you was going down to Wisconsin and going, uh, I can't remember, staying on the Wisconsin side of of the Lake Michigan and go down there towards it, and there's a lot of smelt down in there. But yeah, you go right out there on Lake Superior when they was out running and catch all you wanted of them. I didn't know why you have to drive that far, but oh, yeah, I've seen them sit and clean them things all night long, gutting them. All you had to do is gut them, but it'd take you all day. 4 inches long and one bite to a fish. But I don't miss them. I never did care much about them unless somebody else fishing invited me over. But now them 12-inch perch, I do miss them, and they fought good for their size. I caught one of them one time and a darn seagull. I was bringing it in, and a darn seagull dipped down, got it up top of the water, and he got that, and he got that hook hooked on his leg somewhere or another. I can't remember now exactly how it was. So here I was, I had that seagull up in the air with that perch on it, and I was trying to reel them both in. And I won the battle, but that seagull like to peck me to death when I got him in there because he wasn't going to turn loose that perch. But he gave me some pretty good little scars or cuts at the time. But I got my hook out of him and let him go. He just being a bird or a seagull, whatever they're considered. I guess they're a bird. Lake Mitchell. I don't guess I ever fished on Lake Mitchell. That's down in the main, down in southern Michigan, isn't it? Uh, whereabouts is Lake Mitchell at? I've been by it, but I've never fished it. Jonah, he didn't stay around much. Um, Central Lore, yeah, that's what I thought. Um, I hadn't, I've been by it, or either they had seen a sign for it, but I never did. We used to go up there, uh, just northwest of Marquette, about 30 miles, and I can't remember the name of that lake, but by the last of November, it would be froze around 30, 40 inches thick. Best I remember now, I might be off on that a little bit. But we just drive trucks right out there, and uh, it it was some good fishing. And I didn't like driving my truck out there because you never know what's going to happen. But I pull my ice house there and then ice house out there, and then anchor it, and I take my truck back to the beach because I never did have to, where fished at. I didn't have to go out maybe 200 yards, and I was on a point, and I fished the main part of that point all the time. But yeah, that's perch fishing. I love that, and you catch some good perch through the ice. I probably caught my biggest ones. I don't think I ever caught one over 12, 13 inches, but uh, well, that was the perfect size, and caught more of them that size than I did anything. And I found out that I could catch more on a jig than I could on live bait. More big of the big ones. Uh, the only really small ones I ever caught was on live bait. So I quit using live bait and just used little uh, white feather jigs. Uh, I don't think they had rubber ones back then, but uh, like I got now. But I used a little feather jig, and boy, it gets the heck out of them. How many of them you allowed to catch out at a time? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's right up there on the south shore of Lake Superior. I lived up there for 5 years, 4 years, I guess it was, almost five, and I loved it up there. I just walk all out of my house there at the base and go out 300 yards, and I can bear fish, deer hunt, bear hunt. Of course, I never did bear hunt, but I could hunt anything I wanted. They had moose up there. Of course, you never saw one of them too often, but I had seen them up there. Have you ever read that story about my moose hunt? Little Lake, is that the one up there? About 30 miles northwest of Marquette. Southeast. Oh, okay. Uh, I can't remember the name of them little things, but uh, it was about the closest one to Marquette that I could fish. And I can't remember what the name of it. I was thinking it was Northwest, but it could have been Southeast. Uh, I just don't remember. But boys, a lot of them lakes up there like that that freeze over got good fishing in them. Though. And uh, that Forestville. You know, I never was at that little town. I seen it on the map. I never was at it. Uh, uh, that lake at Ishpeming, Michigan, right there by the Ropes Gold Mine. Uh, that thing's got some of the oh, it's got good muskie. It's got good trout. It's got everything in the world in it. It's not that big. I bet it ain't over 20 acres, maybe 30 acres big, but it's deep. I think it's about 40, 50 foot deep, about all over it. But that thing sure got some good trout and stuff in it. I think I caught the biggest muskie that I ever caught up there in Marquette there. It wasn't that big, but it was the biggest one I caught up there out of that little lake. Well, looks like we got somebody else join us there. Drain Swap. I don't know what their name is yet. I ain't seen nothing. Uh, Hopefully they'll get in here and talk with us. Another thing I miss about Michigan, we used to go up there to have military operations for summer camp out of the National Guard. Uh, Up there where Fred Bear had his company at. I can't remember that lake up there, and I can't even remember the name of that little base. But I used to love to go up there. Yeah, they might have a big buck store. You can't never tell. But we won't know unless they go talking to us, will we? I don't think I told you last time I was talking to you, but I might have. My grandson Caleb, he's at Columbus, Ohio now, and he's doing research up there on DNA for I don't know what for, but it's something to do with DNA. And uh, he's got a job with the university, and plus he's working, getting his bachelor's and doctorate all at the same time. And he's liking it. He's loving his job. And I think it's taking 4 years, maybe six, I don't know, to get his doctorate, but he's going for it and his master's all at the same time. And my other grandson, he's a radiologist. He's going to school for radiology now. I think he's trying to take it where he can take uh, perform the test and read them all at the same time instead of having to send them out to somebody. He'd be the one to read them too. So I don't know how that works, but he's really enjoying that too. Yeah, it is a good deal for him, but I didn't know that's the way you got them. I thought you had to just go to school and pay for it as you went, but they're paying him to work for him. So can't beat that. You got grandkids staying to swamp. Yeah, he ain't gonna worry about it because he's not interested in football. Uh, which one it is? I can't remember what they call that one up there at Marquette. It seemed like it was the Warriors or something. Wasn't it? Marquette Warriors, but they don't usually have a good football team. I get, and they lived with me for until they was big enough to start high school, and and one of them stayed with me, and one of them went back to his daddy. But they really done good. I'm proud of them. Of course, I don't want to tell them that too often to give them a big head. I can't believe this thing ain't froze up. It's almost it's after 4:30, and or I think it is. Yeah, 4:31. But I think just for you, Latoya. Well, hi, Latoya. How you doing, honey? Glad to see you on here. Uh, did you have a good Thanksgiving? Our other buddy over there is Drain the Swamp 53. Well, me and him been talking about 45 minutes, but I'm glad that you could join us. Well, uh, I was thinking I might have talked to you once before. Are you on TikTok? But either way, good to have you with us, and sign up and be a subscriber if you can. Appreciate it. Um, I've only got 103 subscribers. I ain't been on here. I guess I come on about January, I think it was, and uh, the way everybody said it took to. Uh, uh, Everybody told me it would take for a long time to get very many subscribers. So she's saying hi to you, Drain. What state are you in, Latoya? Yeah, I believe she done left there in the swamp. Uh, but this is about the longest I have been able to stay on here for uh, several weeks. Uh, I think she's done gone. I was telling, I think just before I saw you on there, um, Brennan Arms or something like that. It's a company here in the United States. Uh, Frankie O'Bannon. Well, drain the swamp. We got another one there, Frankie O'Bannon, and he's been in the army. How long was you in the army, Frankie? And well, I appreciate all the help I can get, huh? I'd let you subscribe twice if it let you. uh, we got Frankie on there too, Latoya. He's an old ex military man, retired. Latoya, any friends you got now that you want to push this way to join my uh, little station here or channel? I got a few stories, military stories on there, and they're all true. Some people don't believe them, but it don't matter. They're good stories. I'll put it this way: if they wasn't true, they ought to be. But they're true the best that I can remember. And there's a lot of I got 8 or 10 on there, and some about my family, a couple of funny ones about my father-in-laws and stuff. But drain the swamp. It's getting about time you go take mom to the bingo, right? Right here in deer season is black powder season coming up here for I think starting tomorrow or the next day. Of course, it got down 15 last night here, and we got our first trackable snow on the 29th of November. Now, the old saying is, whatever day in November you get a trackable snow, is how many you're going to have between then and uh, last day of winter. So uh, we'll have to wait and see if we get that many. That's the first time we've had a snow in November in 2 or 3 years down this far, but that was trackable, and so we'll have to see if that holds true. Never saw no woolly worms to tell about the weather all year long. I never saw one on the road or anywhere, and they usually a good source of how the winter's going to go. We ain't heard them say nothing hardly about what El Nino and stuff done last year, whether they're affecting the winter this time or not. I don't know. I haven't heard them talk about it. I never heard them talk about it in my life until about 10 or 15 years ago. And all of a sudden they started talking about it, and now it's kind of sliding away. I think they just make up some of these things just to have something to talk about sometimes. Oh, yeah, I see them chemtrails all the time. Yeah, they, uh, I think most of them that we see, a lot of them are where they're spraying the mosquitoes from such high altitude. And because uh, when they spray a lot over our area, we have less mosquitoes than we ever did before. But also, like you was talking about, if you look at them with a telescope or binoculars, you can see inside them clouds that looks like they'll have like a rainbow effect with different oils and stuff that's in them vapors, and they'll stay and linger up there for a long time, and before they dissipate. But you can see the color of the oil, and it'll be moving around inside those vapor trails. So I wouldn't doubt what it ain't shaping the weather the way they want it at times. I think you've been able to do it a long time. Well, they experimented with that in World War II, tried to cause it to rain so it could slow down the Germans. I don't know if it worked or not. I never did hear that it did or it didn't, but I did read an article that they tried to do it one time. Yeah, and KC-130s, they used them a lot to make them chemtrails that you're talking about. They'll hold, I forget how many millions of gas of gallons of gas to fuel the planes up, but they also can put any other kind of liquid in there they want. So they could put certain types of electrolyte crystals, or salt crystals, and stuff like that in there that could cause it to rain. I don't know what it takes to cause it, but they could do it and cover a large area. Did you see that flicker? I don't know if that was just on my screen or maybe you seen it too. I hope this thing's ain't gonna. It's been working pretty good today. I'm kind of afraid to talk about it. Ready about to start doing something. Of course, then again, it might be too cold for me to be out there working because it's. I think the warmest it got today was around 20 something. And it got a pretty good wind with it. Now during Yeah, we've already got winterized. All my buddy wanted to do is put something in the gas. I told him, I said, no, we're going to stick it down in the 55-gallon drum with antifreeze in it and pump it up in there, and then uh, we'll be safe. I said, we get that 55-gallon drum, we'll put two 5-gallon or 2 gallons of antifreeze in it, and that'll just about put it down to pretty close to zero, and we'll be in good shape. Keep it from freezing up anyhow. No, I'm the only one. Now I got two computers set up on it, but I only use one of them at a time because when I'm dealing with Amazon or wanting to upload something, I use my old one. And when I'm wanting to talk live like this, I use Caleb's old one because it's got a sound card that I can do this on, and mine don't have a sound card that I can do this on. So I use both, but they're only on one at a time, and all I got to do is push a button to switch from one to the other because I got them all wired together. Off, well, I don't. I was going to show you that thing, but I can't show it to you. But cable ain't long enough. But no, it's just that company I'm with. I can't think even their name of it, whatever. But they've been running uh, fiber optic cables and stuff all the way out to where my daughter is outside of town, and they close it down about all certain places in town ever so often so they can work on it. And I think it's to keep it from blowing televisions and stuff more than anything. I don't know if that's right or not because I don't know nothing about it, but I think they'll. Old 30-30, they're hard to beat, ain't they? Now, uh, I've got a 30-06 there that I can drive tax with. I used to use it shooting competition all the time, open matches. But I've got a 22 250 and a 243, and I use them. The 243 belongs to my grandson. I bought it for him, and the 22 250 uh, used to be my son's, but I took it back because the last time I had to get it out of the pawn shop, I said it's mine. You ain't getting it back till I die. And I left him a 30-06 so he could hunt with, but he wasn't getting that 22 250. It's a 700 BDL, and I paid 900 and some dollars for it back in the 70s. I believe it was, I believe it's 70s. Might have been early 80s, but either way, it was his, and he started pawning it, and I said, there ain't going to be none of that. I got it out once, and he pawned it again, and I said, this time it's mine. I wasn't going to keep buying it back and buying it all the time anyhow. But you can't get one of them made like that made anymore because it was a 70s model, but it might have been learned. I think it's worth around. I think you have to pay $1,100 for one of them now. I don't know that for sure, but it's one. It's a bull barrel, and 1974 Savage, beautiful gun. Yeah, they are. You know, it's probably one of the most underrated guns I think that we got out there. But yeah, a Savage is one of the most accurate, and they're you can afford them, and they shoot as good as any Remington, any Weatherby I've ever had in my hand. And I'm at 100 yards. I won't accept anything. 100 yards ain't no good. You got either your load's wrong or you're something wrong with your gun and or your scope. And every gun I got there, that's a center fire, a shooter 3/8 group at 100 and 150 both. Now, if you get out there around 200, the wind sometimes it causes you to blister off a little bit one way or the other. Yeah, them old uh, red and black stripe outfits will sure keep you warm too, wouldn't they? There's a lot of hunters, I'd say, if they're still wear them, ain't they, Swamp? I'm gonna start doing a little um, now and then. Take a couple guns been there on the kitchen table and talk about them. I got one 30-06 here that I made everything about it except the barrel, and I bought two barrels at the same time, and I took the best one and made a uh, competition rifle out of it. Well, it just looks like I just customized it, but I used it in competition. I had to take two different bolts, German Mauser bolts, and weld them together and make it work. Okay, buddy, it was good talking with you. Hope your mom or whoever it is or your wife, if you taking whatever, uh, hope she wins some big money at the bingo tonight. And it's a lot of fun whether you win money or not. Most everybody I know plays it. Uh, they only count the nights that they win. They don't count the ones that they lose, so they never lose. They just have fun. So you take care, and we'll catch you on the flip. And I'm going to sign out here too. And everybody else out there, God bless you. And he